The knock came hard, urgent, not the kind you ignore. Chinedu paused halfway down the staircase, his phone still in his hand. The house was quiet, the kind of quiet that comes with comfort. Soft lighting, polished floors, distant laughter from his children upstairs. But that knock didn't belong in this life. It came again, louder. "Sir!" the gatekeeper's voice called from outside. "Some people are here to see you. They say it's important." Chinedu frowned slightly. Important? At this hour? He walked toward the door slowly, something tightening in his chest without explanation. Not fear, not danger. Something heavier. Something familiar. He reached for the handle, opened the door, and froze. The woman standing there looked nothing like the one in his memory, yet he recognized her instantly. Her shoulders were lower now, her face thinner, the sharpness in her eyes replaced with something weak, almost pleading. Behind her stood her husband, quiet, avoiding his gaze. And behind them, more faces, uncles, aunties, people who once knew his name and chose to forget it. For a moment, nobody spoke. Then the woman finally did. "Chinedu," her voice trembled. "Please, we need your help." The world went silent, but his mind didn't. It moved. Fast. Backwards. The phone rang late into the night. Chinedu had been lying on the couch, half asleep, the television playing softly in the background. He frowned when he saw the unknown number. He almost ignored it. Almost. Something made him pick it up. "Hello?" The voice on the other end was tense. Official. "Is this Chinedu?" "Yes. Who is this?" A brief pause, then, "There's been an accident." Chinedu sat up immediately. "What accident?" "Your parents. Their vehicle was involved in a collision." His chest tightened instantly. No, that's not possible." "They've been taken to the hospital. You need to come immediately." The phone slipped slightly in his hand. Everything around him suddenly felt distant, unreal. Minutes later, loud knocking shook the door. "Chinedu, open the door!" It was the neighbor. He rushed over, heart pounding. "Come, let's go," the man said urgently. "They called me too." The ride to the hospital felt endless. The streets blurred past. Cars honked. Voices echoed. But none of it reached him. He sat still, frozen, repeating the same words in his head. It's not true. It can't be true. The hospital lights were too bright, too harsh, too real. People moved quickly. Nurses, doctors, strangers. Nobody looked at him. Nobody spoke to him. Until one did. The doctor walked toward them slowly. Too slowly. His face already carried the answer. "I'm sorry." That was all it took. Chinedu didn't move, didn't react, didn't breathe. I don't understand," he said faintly. The doctor's eyes softened. They didn't make it. His legs felt weak, but somehow he kept walking. Past the doctor, past the hallway, toward the room. They were covered, both of them. Still, silent, gone. He reached out slowly, his hands shaking, pulled back the sheet just enough. First, his father. Then, his mother. And just like that, everything ended. He staggered back slightly, his chest rising unevenly, his eyes wide, but empty. In one night, he didn't just lose his parents, he lost his home, his safety, his future, everything. The burial was crowded. Voices filled the air. Tears flowed. Promises were made. "We're here for you. You're not alone. We'll take care of you. Chinedu nodded quietly, because at that moment, he needed to believe it. 2 weeks later, the house was empty, painfully empty. The laughter was gone. The warmth was gone. Even the silence felt different, colder. Then the conversations started. Not with him, about him. Who will take him? He's still young. I have my own children to worry about. It's not easy in this economy. Chinedu sat quietly in the corner, hearing every word, understanding every meaning. One by one, they stepped back, not forward. You'll go with them, someone finally said. Chinedu looked up. A distant relative, a man he barely knew. Standing beside him, his wife. Her expression already said everything. The first night in that house felt strange, not because it was new, because it didn't feel like home. The second night, it became clear. Don't touch that! Chinedu froze, holding a plate. I was just trying to... I said don't touch it! Are you deaf? I'm sorry. She stared at him like he was a problem, because to her, he was. Days turned into routine. Cold, strict, unforgiving. Have you swept the house? Yes, Ma. Then why is this place still dirty? I'll clean it again. Better. Food became control. You didn't wash the plates properly. No food for you tonight. His stomach tightened. I'm sorry. Go to your room. Hunger became normal. Silence became survival. One afternoon, he gathered the courage. Ma, I got admission. She didn't look up. And? I need help with the fees, please. That got her attention. She turned slowly. Help? Yes, Ma. She laughed, dry, sharp. Do I look like your mother? He swallowed. No, Ma. Then stop acting like it. If you want to go to school, find your own way. That was the moment something shifted. Not loudly, not dramatically, but deeply. He tried others, uncles, aunties, family friends. Each conversation ended the same. We'll see. Not now. Things are hard. Nobody helped. That night, he sat in the dark, hunger beside him, pain inside him, and a decision in front of him. If he stayed, he would disappear. If he left, he might survive. He packed quietly. A small bag, 2 shirts, 1 pair of trousers. Hope. He stood at the door for a long time. No goodbye, no reason to. Then he stepped out. Lagos didn't welcome him. It tested him, immediately. Cars rushed past like he didn't exist. Voices shouted from every direction. Heat pressed down heavily. He stood still for a moment, lost. Guy, move na! You want stand for road? Someone snapped, pushing past him. Reality hit. Hard. The first day of hawking was chaos. Pure water! Cold water! His voice cracked. Nobody listened. Come here, a woman called. He ran. How much? 50 naira, Ma. She took it, walked away, didn't pay. Ma! She was gone. He stood there, learning. By the 3rd day, he understood. Not everyone pays. Not everyone cares. But you keep moving. Then the streets introduced themselves properly. Hey, you! 3 boys stood near a bus, watching him. He hesitated. Come here. He walked slowly. Where you day from? One asked. Just around. You be new boy? He nodded. They laughed. Fresh meat. Another stepped forward. You dey sell for our area. You no greet? I'm sorry. Sorry no dey pay. One of them grabbed his tray. Drop something. I don't have. The slap came fast, sharp. His ears rang. Next time you go learn, they said, walking away with his goods. He stood there, empty tray, burning cheek, eyes wet, but no tears fell. Because Lagos doesn't care if you cry. And that was just the beginning. He didn't go back that night. There was nowhere to go back to. The sky was wide, dark, and indifferent, stretching endlessly above him as he sat on a broken pavement, his back pressed against a closed shop. His legs still throbbed faintly from the earlier strain, but he barely noticed it now. What hurt more was the silence. No mother calling him in. No father asking about his day. Just the distant noise of Lagos moving on without him. His stomach growled. He ignored it. He had learned quickly. Hunger doesn't kill you immediately, but weakness does. Morning came too fast. No alarm. No comfort. Just noise. Horns. Shouts. Movement. Life dragging him forward whether he was ready or not. By the time the sun rose fully, he was already on his feet again. Tray balanced. Voice ready. Pure water. Cold water. This time, louder. Stronger. Not because things had changed, because he had. The street didn't test you once. It tested you every day. And that morning, it came early. Guy! He turned. The same boys, leaning against a bus, watching him like they owned the road. He hesitated. Wrong move. I say come here! He walked slowly, heart steady but alert. You get mine, Shah, one of them said, smirking. What do you mean? You dey sell again after yesterday? I need to survive. They laughed. Everybody need to survive, but no be everybody stubborn like you. Another stepped closer. So you don't think about what we tell you? Chinedu held their gaze. I'm not joining. Silence. Short. Heavy. Then, the push came suddenly. Hard. He stumbled back, barely catching himself. You think say this street be your father house? One snapped. I didn't say that. Then behave like person way know where him day. One of them grabbed his tray again. This time Chinedu held on. Tight. I beg. This one not all I get. The boy stared at him, then smiled. Not kindly. Then you go learn the hard way. The punch landed before he could react. Straight to his shoulder. Pain shot through his body. Another hit followed. Then a shove. He fell, tray scattering across the ground, pure water rolling into the gutter. People watched. Nobody moved. Next time you go answer well, one of them said before they walked off again. He stayed on the ground longer this time, breathing hard, hands shaking. Not from fear, from something else. Anger. Slowly, he pushed himself up, picked what he could. Most of it was gone. Ruined. That day, he didn't make enough to eat. By evening, the hunger was sharper than usual. It clawed at him, demanding, persistent. He leaned against a pole, eyes half closed. Then he saw them again. Different boys this time. Better dressed, confident, dangerous in a different way. You be the guy where they suffer like this? One asked casually. Chinedu didn't respond. We don't they watch you? Another stepped forward. You get strong head. We like that. He stayed silent. Join us, the first one said. Make money, real money. No running for moto. No begging anybody. No nonsense. Chinedu looked at them, really looked. Clean clothes, no stress, no hunger. For what? He asked quietly. They smiled. You know for what? The answer hung in the air, heavy, clear. Cult, Chinedu said. They didn't deny it. Think I'm well, one added. This street no get mercy. They walked away, leaving the offer behind, and that night, it stayed with him. He sat alone again, back against the wall, eyes open, mind racing. What if they were right? What if this suffering had no reward? What if he was just delaying the inevitable? His stomach growled again, louder this time. He pressed his hand against it, as if that would silence it. They have food, he muttered. They have money. They have power. Then another voice rose inside him, quiet but firm. And they have consequences. He closed his eyes. His father's voice echoed faintly in his memory. Whatever you do, do it right. Chinedu exhaled slowly. No. The next morning he didn't hesitate. He picked up his tray again. If suffering was the price, he would pay it. School became harder, not because of the work, because of everything around it. He arrived late one morning, sweat-soaked, breathing heavily. Why are you late? The lecturer snapped. Traffic, sir. That is not my concern. The class chuckled. Next time, don't bother coming at all. Chinedu nodded quietly, walked to the back, sat down, opened his notebook. He didn't argue, didn't explain, didn't defend himself, because nobody cared. After class, he stepped outside slowly, his body tired, his mind heavier. Guy! He turned, the same boy from before. You dey okay? Emeka asked. I'm fine. You sure? You look like person we carry world for head. Chinedu gave a faint smile. Something like that. Emeka studied him for a moment, then nodded. If you need help, just talk. Chinedu hesitated, then nodded back. That evening he returned to the streets. Same chaos, same pressure, same survival. But something had changed. Not outside, inside. He moved with more awareness now, more caution, more resilience. When someone tried to take from him, he resisted smarter. When danger approached, he avoided quicker. He was learning, fast. But the streets don't like when you adapt. They push harder. One afternoon, everything escalated. Traffic was thick, voices louder than usual, tension in the air. A fight broke out nearby, two drivers shouting, then pushing, then punching. Crowd gathered instantly. Chinedu tried to move past. Wrong timing. Someone shoved him, hard. He stumbled into another man. Watch it, the man snapped. I'm sorry. The man pushed him again. Get out. Then someone else grabbed his tray. Another voice shouted, more pushing, more chaos. Suddenly, he was in the middle of it. A hand grabbed his shirt, another pushed his back. Thief! Someone shouted. I didn't... A slap cut him off. Panic surged. I didn't take anything, he shouted. Nobody listened. The crowd had decided. And crowds don't ask questions. The first punch hit his side, then another. He tried to block, tried to move, but there were too many. Please, he shouted. Then, leave 'am. The voice cut through the noise, sharp, commanding. The crowd hesitated. One of the street boys stepped forward, the same ones from before. "He no be thief," the boy said. Silence. Slowly, the tension eased. The crowd dispersed, just like that. Chinedu stood there, breathing heavily, confused. The boy looked at him. "You lucky." Chinedu swallowed. "Thank you." The boy shrugged. "Next time, nobody go save you." He walked away. Chinedu stood there for a long time. His body ached, his mind raced. That could have ended everything, just like that. That night, he didn't just feel tired, he felt close, too close, to losing everything again. If you've been following this story, take a moment. Would you still keep going at this point, or would you give up? Drop your answer in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe. You're about to see the turning point of his life. Exams were coming, pressure rising. Chinedu had less time now, less energy, less everything. But he pushed, harder. By day, he sold. By evening, he attended lectures. By night, he studied. Sleep became optional. Food became rare. One night, as he studied under a dim streetlight, his vision blurred. His head dropped slightly, then jerked back up. "Guy." He looked up. Emeka. "You go faint one day," Emeka said. "I'm fine." "No, you're not." Chinedu didn't argue, didn't have the strength. "Come," Emeka said. "I can't. You can." That night, everything slowed down for a moment. Food, real food. Chinedu ate quietly, carefully, as if it might disappear. Emeka watched him. "You don't have to do everything alone." Chinedu paused, then nodded slowly. For the first time in a long time, he didn't feel completely alone. Exams came, fast, unforgiving. He wrote each paper like it mattered, because it did. Then the waiting began. Days passed, slowly. Finally, results day. Crowd gathered around the notice board, voices loud, energy high. Chinedu stayed back at first, afraid. "Guy, come!" Emeka shouted. He pushed forward, heart racing, eyes scanning. Then he saw it. His name. Passed. Good grades. For a moment, he couldn't move. After everything, he did it. Not perfectly, not easily, but honestly. He stepped back slowly, breathing out. This wasn't the end, but it was proof. Proof that he wasn't wasting his suffering. And somewhere deep inside, for the first time since that night at the hospital, hope felt real again. Not easier, just different. For the first time in years, Chinedu wasn't running between cars. He wasn't dodging insults every second. He wore a clean shirt, ironed trousers, a tag with his name on it. Corper. People greeted him. "Good morning." He almost didn't know how to respond at first. But life didn't suddenly become soft. The struggle only changed shape. Allowance was small, responsibilities were still heavy, and the past never really leaves. He still woke up early, still calculated every naira, still avoided unnecessary expenses, still carried that same discipline the streets forced into him. Some of the other corps members complained daily. "This place is too boring. They should have posted me to Abuja. There's nothing here." Chinedu listened quietly, because compared to where he came from, this was peace. One afternoon, everything shifted again. "Chinedu," his supervisor called. "Yes, sir." "There's an event this evening, important guests. We need extra hands." "Yes, sir." "Be there by 4. Don't be late." "I won't." By 4, the compound looked different. Cars lined up, security tighter, People dressed better. Something important was happening. Chinedu stood at the edge, observing, helping where needed, quiet as usual. Then the convoy arrived. Black SUVs, clean, silent power. Everyone straightened immediately. Conversations dropped, attention shifted. One of the cars stopped directly in front. The door opened. A man stepped out. Calm, controlled. The kind of presence that didn't need noise to be noticed. Chinedu watched him without realizing. There was something different about him. Not just wealth, not just status, something deeper. Focus, someone whispered beside him. The event started. Speeches, introductions, formalities. Chinedu moved around, assisting quietly, until, "Hey, you." He turned, the man, looking directly at him. "Yes, sir?" "Come here." His heart skipped slightly, but he walked over, controlled, respectful. "What's your name?" the man asked. "Chinedu, sir." "Chinedu." The man studied him briefly. "You work here?" "I'm a corps member, sir." The man nodded slowly, then asked a question Chinedu didn't expect. "You look like someone who has seen more than this place." Chinedu blinked. "I don't understand, sir." The man gave a faint smile. "Tell me your story." There was no audience around them, no pressure, just two people. Chinedu hesitated, then something inside him decided. He spoke. Not dramatically, not emotionally, just truth. He spoke about the call, the hospital, the two bodies, the silence after. He spoke about the relatives, the rejection, the hunger. He spoke about the streets, the hawking, the beatings, the near death. He spoke about the offers, the cult, the temptation, and how he said no. He spoke about school, the struggle, the exhaustion, and how he didn't stop. When he finished, there was silence. The man didn't speak immediately, didn't react dramatically. He just nodded, slowly. "Come to my office tomorrow," he said. That was all. Chinedu stood there for a moment, unsure. "Thank you, sir," he finally said. That night, he didn't sleep, but not because of pain, because of possibility. The next morning, he arrived early, very early. The office building was everything he wasn't used to. Clean, organized, powerful. He stood at the reception, nervous. "Name?" the receptionist asked. "Chinedu. I have an appointment." Moments later, "Go in." He walked in slowly. The man was already seated, calm as before. "You came early," the man said. "Yes, sir." "Good." He leaned back slightly. "Do you want to keep suffering?" The question caught him off guard. "No, sir." "Do you want to work?" "Yes, sir." "Hard?" "Yes, sir." The man nodded. "Then I'll give you a chance." Just like that. No long speech, no conditions. A chance. Chinedu's chest tightened. "Thank you, sir." "Don't thank me yet," the man said calmly. "Prove that your story means something." "I will, sir." And he did. The job wasn't easy. Nothing in his life ever was. But this time, effort brought results. He learned fast, worked hard, stayed focused. People noticed. Who is this guy? He's different. He doesn't complain. Because compared to where he came from, this was opportunity. His first salary came. He stared at the alert for a long time. More money than he had ever held at once. His hands trembled slightly. Not from weakness, from memory. He remembered nights he slept hungry, days he was beaten, moments he almost gave up. And now, this. He didn't celebrate loudly. He just sat quietly and exhaled. Life began to change, gradually. Better clothes, better food, a small apartment, peace. Then more changes came. Promotions, responsibilities, growth. Years passed. He built something, not just money, a life. He got married, not out of desperation, but choice. A woman who saw him, understood him, respected him. They built a home, together. Children came, laughter returned. But this time, it didn't feel fragile. Then came another opportunity, a contract. 5 years, United States, new level. He took it, because he had learned something important. When life opens a door, you don't hesitate. Years later, he stood in his house again. Not the old one, a new one. Peaceful, complete. Then came the knock. The same knock. Urgent, heavy. He opened the door, and the past stood in front of him. The woman stepped forward slightly. Chinedu. Her voice was no longer sharp, no longer proud. It was broken. We need your help. Silence filled the space. He looked at her, really looked. This was the same woman who denied him food, who mocked him, who made him feel like nothing. Now, she looked like everything had left her. Behind her, the man, quiet, ashamed. And behind them, more faces. Uncles, aunties, the same ones who said, "We can't help." Now they were here, because he made it. Chinedu didn't speak immediately. His mind moved again, back to the hunger, the insults, the nights alone, back to the streets, the pain, the survival, back to the boy who had nothing. Then he looked behind him. His children's laughter echoed faintly from upstairs. His wife's voice followed. Warm, safe. This was his life now. Not theirs, his. He stepped outside slowly, closed the door behind him. We made mistakes, one of the uncles said quickly. We didn't know things would turn out like this. Chinedu raised his hand slightly. They stopped. Silence. Then he spoke. Calm, controlled, clear. I remember everything. No anger, no shouting, just truth. The woman's eyes filled with tears. We're sorry. Sorry. Such a small word for something so big. He nodded slowly. I won't treat you the way you treated me. They looked up, hope flickering. But things will never be the same. The hope shifted. Not gone, but different. I'll help you, he continued, because that's who I choose to be. Not because they deserved it. But you won't have access to my life. Clear, firm, final. Silence settled again. This time, they understood. He had forgiven them, but he hadn't forgotten. And more importantly, he hadn't returned. Because some doors, when closed, stay closed. He turned, walked back inside, and didn't look back. If you've watched this story till this point, you already know this isn't just about Chinedu. It's about choices, pain, growth, and who you become because of it. So tell me, if you were in his position, would you have done the same? Or would you have shut the door completely? Drop your answer in the comments. And if this story moved you even a little, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Because stories like this deserve to be heard. Because sometimes, life doesn't break you, it builds you.